My Aunt Denise is 100% a mooch.
My sister Denise is an alcoholic, a thief, and a liar. Things started to go downhill when Denise moved in with our parents. My sister stole my mom's jewelry and pawned it. It was $10,000 to buy back.
Me living in the same house, I hold and hide my private possessions away from her.
My parents are in their 80s. They don't need to be worrying about their daughter stealing from them. We had to install cameras in my parents' house. We caught Denise at 4 a.m. taking my mom's purse. We even had her on video bringing strangers into the house. My sister Denise drinks crazy amounts of alcohol. One time she was drunk and she had a TV fall on her. This behavior sounds like I'm describing a young woman, but my sister's 68 years old.
My Aunt Denise is a complete hoarder. Denise's room is an absolute pigsty. You can barely see the floor. She has tissues covering her bed.
She had moldy cheese and yogurt and all kinds of food in her bed.
There are to-go containers stacked all around her room. There were dead maggots.
I'm a judge and I see people like Denise in the court system all the time. Our parents would love to move to assisted living, but they can't because they don't know what to do with Denise.
Don't put it down on me because I'm doing just fine.
But do you understand that you have a problem? My Aunt Denise's behavior has completely broken our family.
My sister is drinking herself to an early grave.
I'm afraid that this is our last hope.
Well, Alexis, Terri, good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
You just heard Denise say, I'm doing just fine.
That's typical.
I'm doing just fine. So she thinks, I mean, she's not working. She's got a place to stay. 3 hots in the cot. She's doing okay, right?
She doesn't realize that she has a problem.
Why are y'all allowing this?
Well,
why are your parents? Why are you guys? We got the tail wagging the dog here. This is like being lost in the forest.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, who's the most confused, disoriented, least capable person here? And Denise raised her hand and said, okay, we'll follow you.
Well, and
that's exactly what you're doing.
I understand.
a joke.
We have wanted her
honestly.
out the whole 15 years, but my mother just can't kick her out until she has treatment, but she won't go to treatment, so we're in this circle.
Alexis, you say she'll hide in her room for days.
Yes, to the point to where I'm like, hopefully she's still alive. Has anyone heard from her? She does not come down, make any efforts to make herself present. She comes downstairs about 4 o'clock in the morning. She'll come down and get her, her food, take it up, doesn't take it back down. That's one of the boundaries that we set in our house: no food, no alcohol upstairs.
Well, your boundaries are a joke. I mean, we're looking at her room.
I know.
What y'all have said since you got out here is everybody knows that what she's doing is not okay. Everybody knows that what she's doing is not in her best interest. It's not in your parents' best interest. And nobody is willing to do anything about it. So why are we here?
I want to know if there's anything we haven't tried, and I also...
You haven't tried anything. You come up with things. You drew up an eviction notice. Nothing happened. She's been told, here are the rules. She laughs at that. You do a behavioral contract. She laughs at that.
You're right.
She steals. She lies. She drinks. She violates all the house rules. Nothing happens.
My Aunt Denise has always shown erratic behavior towards me. I was terrified growing up. I was hiding underneath the dining room table, trying to avoid her.
My sister Denise is an alcoholic. Several years ago, I took her to the drugstore. She stole 2 little boxes of wine in her purse when I was with her, and I didn't even know it. When I realized that, I was so angry, and I took her to AA that day.
My family may claim I'm a mooch, but I am not a mooch. I had 4 jobs in the last 15 years. I live with my parents because they have a big house. I've gone into my mother's purse a couple of times. I might take $25. I gave it back to them right away. One time, I borrowed $13,000 from my parents to help me with my divorce. After I got my settlement money, I paid them back. My family claims that I'm a hoarder, but I don't hoard as much as I used to. I would hide in my room with a box of wine. I would also hide food. My dad had my room cleaned. They threw everything that was on the floor away. One time, my sister Cindy took me to a restaurant, and while we were at dinner, Alexis was going through my room. I just felt violated. I don't have to drink every day. If I want to have a glass of wine, I'm gonna have a glass of wine. I don't get bombed out drunk. The most I drink of vodka would be like 2 or 3 shots. Terri is a good friend, but she's an attorney. She can be tough on you. My family is real concerned about me, but I want them to back off.
Okay, Denise, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Dr. Phil.
Yeah, you seem real excited.
I was,
Yeah.
until I heard all that.
Yeah. You say you're not a moocher. Do you have a job?
I was a crossing guard for 5 years, and I
Uh-huh.
was a flight attendant for 20 years.
Uh-huh. How long ago was that?
It's been a while.
Probably when Daniel was born.
I worked till
Your boys.
91 or so.
Okay, well, this
I got
is
hired in 73.
2021.
I know.
Are you paying rent?
No, but I was buying groceries for the house.
Where were you getting that money?
I get $750 a month from Social Security and my pension.
Okay, you've been living with your parents for 15 years.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Denise has told my team that she disagrees with many of Terri's claims about her, so I wanted to take a look at Terri's original email to me to see which claims Denise says are correct. So I pulled out key statements to come up on the big screen, and Denise, let's just let you take a look at these. She says, my sister, who is 68,
Yeah.
is a major mooch. So you say that's false.
Not a major.
You're not a major mooch. Okay. She moved in temporarily and has been living with my parents for 15 years. True or false?
There were interruptions in that.
We're just
15
looking at the
years.
facts here.
Okay, well, it's true, but I left for 6 months and then I'd come back.
Okay. They have recently served her eviction papers.
Which I did not get. My mother handed it to me, and I looked at it, and she said, if you need to extend it, you can extend it.
Well, you just said you didn't
Well, I
get
mean,
it.
I got it, but I didn't read it.
Well, I can't help that.
I know.
You got it, right?
Right.
Okay. We have video of her stealing money out of my parents' purse at 4 a.m. while they slept.
No, I did not. That's false.
Really?
I think so, false. Yeah, show me the video.
Okay. We'll show you the video right now. This was at 4 a.m.
Okay.
Going into your parents' bedroom in the middle of the night
Oh, I was going to the bathroom in this hallway.
with your mother's purse.
No, that's not my mother's purse.
And then you brought back not your mother's purse?
Oh, I guess it is my mother's purse.
Yeah, it seems to be.
I didn't remember doing that.
You were probably drunk.
I wasn't drunk.
No.
I might have been intoxicated.
Oh, we're going to play semantics.
No, but okay, if you want, I was drunk, okay?
Okay, so you did go in at 4 in the morning,
Yes.
get your mother's purse and steal money out of it.
Yes.
Her
That-
room is disgusting and causes bugs in the rest of the home.
That is true, but it's changed. I changed it.
This is July before the professional cleaning crew came in.
Right. And
So
this is
you're
after.
living like this and you say, I'm a mooch,
No,
but
it wasn't
not,
good.
I'm
It
a
wa-
porter, but
no,
not
this was
that
not
much.
good. This was not good. I can't look at it anymore.
Okay, then let's have a seat.
My son, Daniel, he's got problems with alcohol. I've been with him when he's offering me drinks. The last time he had some in his truck. They're sparkling water, but spiked. And he asked me if I wanted one. I said yes. It's like two different sets of standards, one for him and one for me.
I've recently heard that my mom has started to claim that I'm the alcoholic. I have a drink, but I'm also a responsible parent and have a job. I fight every day to make sure that I don't turn into what she's become. My mom has had an alcohol problem as long as I can remember. When I was growing up, she used to drink straight vodka in the kitchen. My brother and I had to fend for ourselves. When I was young, I caught my mom using cocaine. When she was a flight attendant, she tested positive for drugs and had to quit. The Denise that I've known for the last 20 years is a liar, delusional, and manipulative. She hasn't been a mom to me in a very long time. Almost every time I see my mom, she's drunk. I have 3 young, beautiful daughters. This past Christmas, she begged me to bring them over From the moment we arrived, I could tell that she was drunk. Her eyes were very squinty, she was slurring, she could barely stand up. My 5-year-old was scared to even talk to her. I told my wife we don't have to see my mom anymore unless she changes. My biggest fear is what's gonna happen to my mom when my grandparents pass away. I can't see this lasting much longer. I feel like I'm gonna get a call that she's dead.
Well, Daniel, thank you for being here. You say this is kind of the last stop on the subway for you with your mother. She's either going to turn something around, she's going to get some traction, she's going to do something different, or you're done.
Absolutely, absolutely. My mother, Denise, I love you, but
Love you too.
we haven't been on good terms in a long time, and I'm just done with it. I can't expose my kids who are getting old enough to recognize it. I can't do it anymore. And yes, I do have a drink, but I'm a responsible adult and know when to say no and know when to stop. And yes, I have offered you a drink before because I knew if you didn't have one, you wouldn't stop shaking. We don't know what to do anymore, Dr. Phil.
He's taken her to treatment many times. It lasts for a while, and then it's back to the same old, same old.
Do you think that you're exploiting your parents?
No, I haven't tried to ever exploit
Do you
my
think
parents.
you're adding stress to their lives?
I don't know. I think Alexis has a lot of stress too, but we're not talking about her. I think we all have stress in our life.
This is the best I've seen her in a long time, and she puts on a good show. But let me tell you this, she has continually gotten worse and worse every single year. It's gotten to the point where she used to put it together for a few days a year to be able to be around the family events, weddings and things. In the last few years, that doesn't happen anymore. She can't even function enough to be at a wedding or things like that.
Listen, I got to tell you guys, people ask me sometimes if I think problems are as simple as I make them out to be. I don't think problems are simple at all. I think oftentimes problems are very complex. They're very layered. It's the solutions that are simple. And this is not a complex situation. This isn't a close call about what to do. I could do this in a drive-by. I could just drive by and roll down the window and say, here's what to do. I mean, this is not a close call. It's just that y'all are so close to it that it apparently looks like a blur to you. It's like you're doing the drive-by.
In 2009, my mother passed away from alcoholism and cirrhosis of the liver. Denise and my mom were inseparable. My mom was found passed away by Denise.
I never have done
For
what
your
your mother
support.
did. I never take drugs.
My mom didn't do drugs.
She did Vicodins.
You do anxiety
Like the-
pills with your alcohol. It's very frustrating that Denise still displays this issue with being an alcoholic, even despite the fact that her sister has died from alcoholism.
My daughter Denise has been living with us approximately 15 years. She has stolen jewelry from me. I've lost my 25th anniversary ring and my mother's wedding rings. Terri and I had to go to the pawn shop. To the sum of $10,000, I bought those back. I have money in my purse. It's usually missing. That's why I have to hide my purse. Her bedroom has always been a mess. You could not see the floor. You could not see the bed. I have told her many times, don't take food upstairs, but she does. We even have to hide food from Denise. This is all the Christmas goodies. Denise does not pay rent. She does not pay utilities. We have given her thousands of dollars.
I'm 87, be 88 next month. Joyce is 86. We're not going to be here much longer. And there's not going to be anybody here to look after her. Back in August, the decision was made. We need to give her an eviction notice. Nothing has ever come of it.
Dr. Phil, can you help us help our daughter?
Well, I certainly can. And joining me via Skype from Texas are Denise and Terry's parents, Tom and Joyce. Tom, Joyce, how are you today?
Fine. We're okay, Dr. Phil. Thank you.
I'm so proud to meet both of you. You're concerned about Denise, and you're concerned about what's going to happen to her when someday the two of you are gone, correct?
Right.
That's correct. I mean, she can't function. I mean, she can't go out into the world. I mean, I'm sorry, but she just can't. And I'm afraid for her to.
She's actually stolen your jewelry and pawned it, and you lost some of your most treasured items, correct?
That's correct.
And then you guys had to go back and buy them back, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, we found some of the receipts that added up to $3,808.50.
It's a lot of money, no matter what any way you look at it.
And that's not everything. Those are 12 of the receipts that we found. You say, no, I've not exploited my parents. I'm not adding stress to their life.
This was.
Come on.
I was in a very bad state. I had supported my ex-husband for 2 years. He owed me 60. I was depressed when I moved in with my
Don't
parents.
care.
I didn't have any money, and yes, I stole, but I was going to get it. My intention was pawn it, get some money, and then pay them, get it out, and give it back.
Blah, 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 blah,
I know.
blah.
So what do you want me to say, Dr. Phil? I mean, I tried.
I want you to acknowledge the fact that, yes, I have exploited my parents. I have stressed my parents. I've put pressure on them, and that needs to stop. That needs to change.
And I've been trying to change. And I've been trying to do things around the house, like cook meals and things.
That's
and
a lie.
No.
That's
I
a lie.
cooked a big old
That's a
pot
lie.
of soup. I cooked pork chops.
You are more of a
doesn't matter.
burden. You are more of a burden than you do
I
cook
said,
meals
I
or
tried,
clean up.
Daniel.
I ask you, what have you done today? And you'll say, I've been downstairs cleaning. I call my grandma. She says, I haven't seen her in 2 days.
It's the truth.
You're
Dr.
not
Phil.
being honest with yourself and or everyone else.
Okay.
Didn't you recently just steal some food that they were hiding?
I didn't steal the food. I turned the oven on, and they started. I didn't know the food was in there.
Because they were hiding it from you. What are you putting under your arm?
I don't know.
That's so she thinks that they don't know that she's taking it upstairs. That's why it's being hid. But the camera's right there. But
Well, that's not very appetizing. Let me be very, very clear here. And I say this to your parents, and I say it to you. I'm getting ready to tell you what's going on and what needs to happen here.
okay.
I can explain this to you. I can't understand it for you. You got to do that part on your own. Look, you don't like your life the way it is.
I don't like it. I was going to be 69 years old, and I'm saying, what do I do with myself now?
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I'm not getting ready to send her to rehab. She's done that several times. That obviously doesn't work. And she even made demands about that in case I had that on my mind. She called my producing team 6 days ago just to tell them that if she did get sent to rehab, which is not going to happen, she would leave because she has other appointments that she deems more important. Here's what she had to say.
I just wanted to tell you, on February the 1st, I have appointments with my breast surgeon and my oncologist at 9:30 and 11, because if I go to a rehab place, I'll leave to go to my appointments because I love my doctors.
He's shaking his head no, but I have the appointment cards, and I have the phone
Doesn't
numbers.
matter. Doesn't matter because I wouldn't waste that resource on you at this
Okay.
point. They may not learn from past behavior, but I do. So I'm not going to continue to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. So that's not happening here. So let me tell you what does need to happen. Tom and Joyce, y'all are afraid that she's going to be homeless. And I understand that, but you need to understand that she already is homeless. She's just doing it in your home. And if she was even living in a shelter, she would have a higher standard of living than she does right now in your home, because when you look at this bedroom, when you look at this situation, circumstance she's living in, they would not enable her in that way. She would be required to do things that you don't even require her to do in your own home. They would be better stewards of her than you are being in your home, because cloaked as love, you are allowing her to self-destruct in order to make yourselves feel better. All of you have allowed her to continue to unravel and self-destruct because you don't want the anxiety of her being on the street and the guilt that you would experience if something bad happens and she dies on the street.
Yes,
So you're not doing this for her, you're doing it so you feel better. You need to impose some ironclad standards with her. The first thing that needs to happen is that bedroom's going to get cleaned up, her space is going to get cleaned up, she's going to get cleaned up, and then you add a behavior a week. She should be going to an AA meeting every single day. She should do 90 meetings in 90 days.
Yep.
I took pictures of the floor in her bedroom, and I counted the wine boxes piled up in the floor. I counted over 20 of them. That needs to stop. Now, her bedroom today is better than it is in this picture, probably because she knew she was coming here.
It's not by her doing.
It was because the last time was the professional cleaners, but she's also been to AA, but then even her sponsor stopped picking her up because she was manipulative to them, I believe. But the only other thing is that any treatment has medicated her and released her, and they've never ever done a long-term counseling or help of any kind. So I don't know how we make her take her medicine or how we make her go to AA.
You don't.
We can't.
You don't.
Then we're right where we are.
No, you aren't. No, you aren't. Let me finish.
Okay.
You need to set a date certain that she is out. She has income. She can get into housing. And if she has to go to a shelter until she gets there, that's her choice. There are ironclad rules. If she violates them, that's her choice. You choose the behavior, you choose the consequences. If she chooses not to go to an AA meeting, then that's on her and that is her choice. She's gone. And it's not a matter of a sponsor picking her up. She's not theirs to raise.
She didn't have a driver's license.
She doesn't need a
Well, I know,
driver's
but Alexis
license.
wasn't living there. My mom couldn't drive. I mean,
Then take a bus.
I mean, there's no bus from their house to AA. She could walk if she was healthy. She
Then
could
walk to the corner and take a bus.
Yeah.
Call a cab. That's not your problem. This is a grown woman. She's flown all over the world. This is a flight attendant. She's been in more cabs than you have cars. She knows how to get where she is going. You're treating her like she's an invalid. She's not.
Okay.
When you watch this back, you're going to hear me telling you that the only way to change this is to set some ironclad standards that she meets or doesn't, and then you're going to see that you sat there and made excuses for her. Well, her AA sponsor didn't pick her up. There's not a bus.
No,
She
I took
can't
her
do
to her
this.
first AA. I mean, I said go to AA, but I can't drive her to AA every day. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I apologize,
Part
but
of the excuses.
no more excuses. I just want to know how to make it happen.
It's not your job to make it happen.
Okay.
It's your job to be aware that that is the requirement. And if she violates it, she's gone.
I agree with Dr.
agree.
Phil.
I agree with you.
We've threatened consequences, but they've never
Have-
followed
we
through.
haven't. They haven't
So
have them.
this
It's
is
only
this is
for
it.
you.
It's going to be followed through with. If you don't do what you need to be doing, you're going to be on the street.
And if your parents won't do it, then get a conservatorship and do it for them. You have to protect them so they aren't put in this bad situation. And you shouldn't fight this.
Oh, I'm not.
You should do everything you have to do. I'm going to arrange through Doctor On Demand, which is a company that we actually founded. I'll set up 10 sessions immediately for you to have
Okay.
your own personal therapist away from everybody else. Nobody else can listen, nobody else can hear. And you can talk about setting these goals, identifying the steps necessary to get there, to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah,
You need to get off the booze and get on your feet.
I know.
And you can't do that living in a hovel inside your parents' house.
That's
You're a
right. I
grown
agree.
woman.
I agree with you.
And stop walking all over your parents
Okay.
and pretending you don't.
I will. I'll do better. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I'm really sorry. I'm so blessed to have you. And I appreciate
we
everything
love
you've
you,
done for
and-
me.
she lives with her parents and
She is 68 years old.
her family claims she's a thief
My sister stole my mom's jewelry and pawned it.
and even swiped her mom's purse.
False. Show me the video.
This was at 4 a.m. going into your parents' bedroom in the middle of the night
America's oldest moocher.
I was going to the bathroom in the hallway.
with your mother's purse.
Next, Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.